Hello, welcome to the very first episode on this brand new channel and this brand new series. This is the Digital Gardener channel, and this series is called 50 Weeks of Web. Now, essentially, I've put together 50 weeks worth of content that is designed to help you specifically get the most out of your business website and to make it as successful as a tool as it can possibly be. So let's jump straight to it.
Now Yeboah with a chance! Oh, stunning goal!
This week we are going to be covering off and looking at goals. It's the beginning of a new year, and there is no better time than right now to start looking at setting yourself some brand new goals and objectives. Now, people often overlook their websites when it comes to setting goals. And yet, done properly, your website should be, in this day and age, one of the biggest sales assets that you have available to your business. Now, quite often, what I see is that the vast majority of business owners follow the field of dreams principle.
If you build it, he will come.
But in reality, we know that this just does not happen. So let's begin by taking a look at what we can actually do to set some goals successfully that make sense for you and your business. Now, first and foremost, what is your business goal?
It is like a finger pointing away to the moon.
The best way to think about setting a goal is, what is your primary outcome? What do you want to achieve? Or what is the destination that you see yourself heading towards? That is the best way to think about a goal. Now, I've personally met with hundreds of business owners, and I can tell you that when we discuss this topic together, the most common response I hear is, I want to make more money. I want to increase sales.
Show me the money.
Now, let's be honest, that is vague at best, and it's about as useful as a chocolate fireguard. It's just simply too broad. So just as with a goal on a football pitch, when you're setting your goals, they should be specific and clearly defined. This is going to give you the best chance of achieving those goals. And it also demonstrates that you've put some planning and thought behind what those goals are that you're setting for yourself. And so a better example would be, I want to increase my sales by 30% this year. Or, I want to increase my sales by £60,000.
Show me the money!
So, here are a few quick do's and don'ts when it comes to setting goals. Number one, do make your goals specific to you and your situation. Number two, do make sure that the goals that you set are realistic and achievable with the resources that you have available to you. After all, there's no point in saying you want to double your sales when that's going to require staff investment that quite simply you haven't got and you cannot afford right now. So actually, make sure those goals are realistic to what you can achieve. What is your current capacity? What are you able to take on? Don't imitate anybody else. You should never copy the competition. As Brad Burton says, you're never going to be the market leader copying the market leader. And finally, don't lose sight of your goals. Don't move them around constantly, because a constantly moving goalpost you're never going to be able to hit. So how do we now interpret these into specific website goals? You may be looking to increase your sales this year. Now, more sales would probably come as a result of more inbound inquiries or leads. It goes hand in hand without saying. In reality, that's probably not the exact science, but for now, let's just use that as the rule of thumb. Now, perhaps you wish to establish yourself as the main authority within your specific field. In order to achieve this, you would probably be looking to build your subscriber list. If you're selling products, then you have an e-commerce store, and it goes without saying that you are looking to increase the number of purchases that are made on your store. And indeed, if you've ever run an AdWords or a Facebook campaign, you will see that the very starting point before you do anything is that you set yourself some very clear goals. Are you looking to generate more awareness? Are you looking to increase the amount of traffic to your website? Are you looking to increase the amount of form submissions and therefore leads? Now, it's also worth noting that in order to give yourself the best chance of doing this, you're going to have to think about your customers' needs and what they require from your website. So an example would be, if you're an emergency locksmith or a 24-hour plumber that deals with emergency cases, it goes without saying that you probably want to make sure that your telephone number is the number one objective or goal that you have on your site. You want the customer at the end of the day to be able to contact you in case of that emergency. So putting a contact form on your website is probably not the best way to go in that scenario. If you offer services, however, and that requires an initial consultation or an appointment to be booked, think about perhaps putting some appointment booking software on your website that actually makes it available to the customer to be able to make that appointment when it's convenient for them. That would probably be a more interactive and a slightly better way than just putting a simple contact form on your website.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Okay, so by now we've probably got a good idea of the types of goals that you want to be looking to set yourself on your website. Now what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to track and monitor the progress that we are making towards those goals. And in order to do that, what we need is a set of very clearly defined objectives. Objectives allow us to do exactly that. They allow us to track and monitor all of the progress that we are making and what is required in order to meet those goals that we are setting. Now again, specific and measurable is the key to this. And quite often, adding a time element is also a really beneficial practice. So a good example of this would be to say, in order to meet my sales target, I want to increase the number of inbound leads by 50% no later than July. Now, a great way of figuring out your objectives is actually to work everything back from the goal that you have set. So let's say, for example, that you want to generate an additional 30,000 in sales turnover this year. Show me the money! Now, looking at your average order value, you can see that your average order value is about £2,000 per customer. So in order to achieve that £30,000, you're going to need to generate an additional 15 customers. Now you could take that one step further and say that in order to get those 15 customers, I need to generate 45 additional inbound inquiries because I know my conversion rate is 1 in 3. So for every 3 inquiries that I receive, I'm able to convert one of those into a sale. Now what we've done here is we've actually broken down and generated ourselves a set of very clearly defined and measurable objectives relating to our goal. 15 additional sales in 12 months, 45 additional leads required over the next 12 months in order to do that, and that breaks down to approximately 4 new inquiries every month or 1 every week. So by now, hopefully we're forming a good picture on setting yourself some very clear goals and objectives related to you, your business and your website specifically. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go away and spend a few minutes, no more than 30 minutes, and just set yourself a very clearly defined goal. A goal, remember, is a primary outcome. It's a destination. That's what you want to ultimately achieve. Then work backwards from that and work out what is required, what steps are going to be required in order for you to achieve that goal. Now it's worth mentioning, I don't want you to worry about how you're going to ultimately achieve those objectives. At this point in time, I just want you to work out what those objectives are going to be. Next week, we're going to be looking at the customer journey in more detail, and that's going to help you to figure out what those missing dots are that's going to help you fill in the blanks in order to figure out how you're going to achieve those objectives. Thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you again next week.